You're with me, Sharmila, on this channel, Learn to Excel. This topic is in continuation of the previous video, job description. So in today's class, we will see what are the uses of job description. Most of it we've already covered, but this will give a brief summary of uses of job description. Okay, so let's get started. So as we saw in the previous slide, it helps or is useful for various individuals like the organization or the candidate or the external recruiters and the employee, right? So to summarize all of the uses of a job description, here's the list. So it provides the employee with a list of roles and responsibilities so they understand what is the expectations of a particular role that they are into or that they are working on. It also provides complete details of what the role is all about and helps the candidates or the individuals who are looking for a job to see whether that is a suitable job for them or not. Say, for example, I am looking for a morning shift and I want the location of the company to be within Bangalore, then I will look for the job description details. If the job description speaks about night shift, or if it speaks about the location in Hyderabad or any other state, I would probably reject it. So, a job description helps the candidates to assess whether the job is suitable for them or not. Next is it helps the recruitment team or the hiring team in the organization during the selection process. So a job description gives all the roles and responsibilities, the skills required for a particular position. So it helps the hiring team to formulate their questions according to the job description, the skill requirement for a particular role. This helps them to hire the right candidates for the roles that is open in the organization. So it helps formulate questions for the interviewing process, which is a kind of preparation, right? Just like the candidates or the interviewees prepare for an interview to give their best. The interviewers or the employers who are doing the hiring will also do their homework to ensure that they have the right set of questions to gauge the candidates who are applying for the jobs. So formulating questions according to the job description skills will help them in identifying the right candidates for the role. It also helps the prospective employee or the candidates to determine their role and where do they come in the structure or hierarchy of a particular organization. So that is also one other important thing which candidates might be looking for when they are applying for a particular job. It helps a company to bring out a legally binding contract of employment. This is basically to ensure that the employment details are in line with the local laws of the particular country. It also helps the company or the organization to set specific goals or targets for the employee upon joining. So even before the interview, the job description gives details of what is the expectation of the employee. So when there is a job description, it helps the managers to arrive at specific targets or goals that is expected out of the particular employee, and thereby it helps them to gauge or evaluate the employee's job performance as against the job description that is given. It also helps the company to organize trainings or development plans according to the job requirement. Like the example that I shared in the last video, if the role is a call taking role and it is described in the job description, then the company will have a specific training organized for call taking or customer handling. So that way the job description helps the organization or the company to formulate the trainings and development plans. We will also look at what are the components of description. So typically a job description will include these set of things. First is the title and the summary of the role. What the role is all about. Just a brief summary of the title. Then it will also speak about the roles and responsibilities or the duties, list of duties that is required for the individual to perform if they get into the job. It might also speak about professional experience. Say, for example, a particular job description will say that this candidate should have 5 years of prior experience in this particular field or 10 years of experience. So, that is the desired professional experience that they may be asking for. Or if it is a role which a fresher can take up, then probably that professional experience part, they will say no experience required. It is looking for freshers. Then it will speak about the educational level and desired qualification required for that particular position. So, say for example, it is a role which requires an MBA graduate or a chartered accountant. So that will be specified in the job description. So if I'm a person who have completed MBA or a chartered accountant, then I will know, okay, this is something that I can look for. This job is something that suits the educational qualification that I already possess. Then it will speak about the core skills required for that particular position. Skills like maybe communication skills or computer skills like Excel, PowerPoint, or various other personality traits like good engagement skills, drive for results, teamwork. So all those skills required for a particular position will also be listed in the job description. The next thing is necessary certificates, licenses, and registrations, which is required for that particular job to be performed. Say, for example, it is a role that you're applying for a chartered accountant role. Probably they might ask for certification on those licenses to be a chartered accountant, to be an auditor. So that will be specifically described in the job description. Or say, for example, if it is for a fresher, probably details like certification in Tally course or certification in Java programming, right? So those things might be included as necessary certificates. Then also it will speak about who the prospective employee will they be reporting to. Say, for example, is a person going to report to a manager or a senior manager or a VP or a director? So even that specification will be provided in the job description. It will also speak about if there are any employees or the count of employees who will be reporting under the individual. For example, I'm going to apply for a manager job. Then there might be details of how many employees will be reporting under you. If you are going to apply for a manager job, maybe it might say that you will have 10 employees reporting under you, right? So that is what this point speaks about. Physical requirements is another thing which might be listed in the job description. This might be primarily for roles like, say, for example, maybe security officer, or maybe it is for facilities individual. For these individuals, physical requirement is very much important because the role is as such. A security officer, maybe they will say that you should be physically fit, strong enough, to handle any crisis in the organization. So physical requirements could also be part of a job description, depending on what role it is. Work environment is another thing. To give a specific example on this, say for example, that is a IT person job or a mechanic's job. It will specifically speak about the person to be on site, because those are roles which cannot be performed uh, at home, right? So obviously it will speak about the work environment and where the individual should be when if they have to perform this particular role. Then last but not the least, other employment conditions that is applicable for that particular role. It could be with regard to the shift timings, the additional or overtime hours that the individual might require to be performing, or any other details like promotion cycle, after how many years or months the person will get opportunity to get to the next level. So those other employment conditions will be listed in the job description. So this is a typical structure of a job description. So let's look at one particular example. Um, okay, so let's take this example. So if you see in this particular example, whatever we discussed throughout in the previous sessions, you will remember whatever we discussed, right? So a job description will speak about the job title. So in this case, it is a finance assistant who the person will be reporting into. So that in this case is a finance manager. It also speaks about the package or the salary that the individual might get it in a particular year. It speaks about the job timing, whether it is part-time or full-time, the location of the job. Then it speaks about the purpose or key objective of this particular role, right? So if you look at here, this is a finance assistant role, and it speaks about the key objective of that role. A finance supporting a finance manager in recording and retrieving financial details, which includes all of these things like financial records management, processing payments, cash handling, salary. So when I, as a candidate, I'm going to apply for the job, I will be looking into this to see what are the roles and responsibilities, the skills required for this particular role. Basis that, I will prepare my resume. Even before preparing a resume, I will decide whether this is something that I want to go for. Is this something that I'm looking for as a job opportunity? Then if this is a role that I want to apply for, then I will start working on the resume. When I'm preparing my resume, I will ensure that I capture all the skill sets that matches to this job profile on my resume. And thirdly, I will prepare for the interview basis the details provided in this job description. Okay, so this is a typical structure of job description, and it has all the individuals from the candidates to the organization to the HR department and managers to manage performance of the teams. Okay, so that is all in today's training. If you have any feedback, please leave your comments in the comments section. Thank you.